What's up, guys? Happy Tuesday. It's your boy 007. Let's check out the earnings for today. Wow, a lot of mixed market today, up and downs. AXP was up like crazy, IBM as well. Market just looking for excuse to go up or down. Etsy down some more. Got some big earnings today. Microsoft, Texas Instrument. Let's see how that looked like. What's up, MK? Al Patron. Heavies. Nasty Nate, bye bye Microsoft. What did they say? What's going on here? Catching up here, catching up. What's up, Fiat World? RB Nickel, how are you guys doing? Good point here, Nasty Nate. You can still buy puts on SPY. That's true. You could if you anticipate things to be pretty ugly. YOLO 69 6969. What's up, Mr. One Parm? CG. It's good, yo. All right, let's see what's going on. Let's look into this. Microsoft getting beat up. Boom, boom, boom. It's dying. Why? All right, so Microsoft is down $14, down 5% after hours. One of the biggest downtrend we have ever seen on Microsoft after earnings. Usually really relatively flat. Earnings per share was 248 as opposed to 231. They beat. Wow, somebody sweeped the $300 calls by selling before market close. Sales was 51.7 billion as opposed to 50.88. So top and bottom beat. In terms of earnings per share and sales, 22% increase compared to the same period last year, and 20% increase in sale compared to the same period last year. But let's ask ourselves, what was the stock price a year from now, right? A year ago, last year was trading around $230. $230 pricing in that regular 1.2% increase year over year. Microsoft was kind of overpriced at 350 in terms of stock price appreciation, right? 1.2 at $230 is 276. So we're coming down to that range right here. But let's look a little bit more. Let's look a little bit more into the statement. Let's see what else they said. See if they got anything good going on. But this is not good for the market. So last week we already had Netflix kind of like, and we talked about this too. We talked about how Netflix could potentially be the guidance in the market of how things were to happen with tech ERs, right? And Netflix being one of the first first tech stock to really report. So we saw how ugly it was. They had a decent earnings, but their guidance was so bad that it took them. They got beat up. They got smacked down. And then market was barely hanging by a thread. Market was hanging by a thread, and it needed to recover, but they didn't make it happen. So I mean, and Microsoft is a good company, man. We like Microsoft. It's a good company. We know it's strong. But at the same time, Microsoft, it's a humongous company, and the growth is very, very hard. When somebody is so big, it's very hard for them to grow. It's like trying to watch like a 200-pound or 300-pound basketball player running back and forth across the court, or like a big football player, making like crazy moves. It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be hard. Or like a truck, man. Imagine you're driving like big tractor trailer truck. You can only hit the brakes so fast. Actually, you don't even want to slam the brakes because you would die. So the Azure, their cloud size growing 32% year over year. Microsoft seeing some recovery. Nice. Let me see if they say anything about share buybacks. We gotta look for that, because if they say something about share buybacks, you know what we need to do. We need to buy the dip. They said they're not gonna announce earnings guidance until the conference call a little bit later. In regards to share buybacks, they said they already bought $10.9 billion in terms of that and dividend. So definitely not announcing any more buybacks at this point, because they probably announced it a while back. Let me see if they say anything about metaverse. No metaverse here. Anything about VR? No keywords, man. Come on, Microsoft. What's going on? What's going on with you? You know the keywords. Gotta say those keywords for us to follow. Let me catch up on the comments. Apple will be next? Probably. Java, we got to chart SPY to see the bounce off the downtrend line. Yeah, we got to see that. Oh yeah, you guys were here yesterday, right? Do you remember the line that we're talking about yesterday? So for those of you guys that were here yesterday, remember we talked about how we were at make or break area? Let me show you. Look how crazy that is, man. We got smacked on that line yesterday. Make or break. We broke under, right? We came back up, and then we beat it. We beat the line, and then we made a double top. So weird, man. The market is so weird. Could not make this up, right? Look at that. Came back to that same area, double top, rejected. Now this is typically bullish, okay? This is typically bullish on the market on SPY. This is very, very bullish move. So in order for a bullish move to happen, you need to touch that resistance. You need to back test it a little bit, and then you need to break over the resistance, right? So it was trying to break over this line resistance, moving average resistance, but then it got doubled. It got weakened here, and now is using that moving average as a slingshot back, right? Now that is what it's supposed to do. That is what it should be doing. But if Microsoft end up, going down tomorrow, guess what? This possible move back up, this supposed bullish move back up to here, right? It's gonna end up being another flood down here. It's gonna go from a nice bullish back test pattern to what's gonna happen. It's gonna go from a nice bullish back test pattern. Now this is a back test pattern here, right? It's moving up. It's gonna go from that to the M pattern. Boom. You know what the M pattern first is? Just a double bottom pattern. Now we talked about how bullish double bottom patterns are, but double M patterns, double top patterns. I'm sorry, man. They don't want to say that to you guys there. I know there's still a lot of bulls here, but that's what it's looking like to me. Let's check out some of the other earnings. And I'm not saying short. I'm not saying short the hell out of it, but definitely don't be anxious to go long right now. Be careful going long. Don't even might even wait on the sideline before we go long. But let's check out some of the other earnings. Let's check out Texas Instrument. Oh, why they down? No guidance from Microsoft. That's why. Good. Microsoft is a buy. Absorb revenue growth 45% year over year. Of course, it's always Microsoft is definitely a buy, bro. Why not, man? But doesn't mean that the dust can't settle further down at the same time. Market is so dumb sometimes. It is ugly for the market, brother. It is, man. Microsoft wants to be. Everybody wants Microsoft in their portfolio. It's like, why not, right? Well, it's not that they didn't be enough. It's because their price appreciated so much more than their opportunity to grow, right? I think that's the biggest problem, and a lot of these guys do sandbag it too. Short the entire market. No puts, no puts. Just sideline. Just sideline, man. Sit on hand. Microsoft. RB Nickel, man, you're itchy lately, bro. Anything on Activision? I haven't seen anything yet. Probably gonna listen to the earnings report later on. It was a good earnings. It was a good earnings, but it just wasn't a crazy. It wasn't a crazy beat because we looked at the price, right? The price ran a lot more, whereas they only made 30% year over year. Texas Instrument PP. Damn, I don't know if I can catch up to the message at this point. So much message. Oh, looks like you guys are both in Microsoft. Oh my god, RB Nico, you bought an Amazon? Yo, later on, toward 5 p.m., ask me about Amazon. I got something crazy to show you guys. 420 for next Monday. Nasty Nate, good luck, man. Fortune favors the bow. Yep. Damn, so far. Someone pointed out something about the Army, Google not being ready for Microsoft. What do you mean? That's true. That's true. Actually, yeah. Earl, you're right, man. Microsoft can still come back. Metaverse EV coin, baby. Oh my gosh. 400 tomorrow, my man says. I drew a downtrend line for SPY since the finna. Sure. Feel free to send it. Let me see what you got. I've been itchy. Scratched that yesterday. Only good companies though going long. No more BS companies. LOL. Sickness. Looks like the Moobot said Sickness subscribed to us yesterday. Thank you again if you're here. Dump, dump, dump. Hump. Cup of Magic says. I mean, their Army VR Google not yet combat ready. Goggles, and that is the only negative in there. All right, so let's check out Texas Instrument now that I caught up with the comments. Texas Instrument earnings per share $2.27, beat estimate of $1.94. Sales is 4.83 billion as opposed to 4.43. Wow, big difference there. 26% increase compared to the same period last year, and about 18% increase in sales compared to the same period last year. Now let's check. Let's see what the price was trading at last year. Last year, company was trading $160. They had about 20% increase in sales, give or take, and 26% increase in EPS, right? So let's take like that 160 times 1.2. So same kind of growth as Microsoft. So obviously they moved up because their price appreciation is relatively reasonable. Compared to last year, they're actually a little bit under. So they have, the price was only trading 173. It was going down with the market and the whole semi sector, but they actually didn't run as much. So they could be fairly valued around the 190 area. Even compared to a 2-year basis, they didn't run that much, considering that semiconductors were doing extremely well. But let's see what their next quarter guidance is. Texas Instrument sees Q1 earnings per share at $2 to $2.29 as opposed to $1.90 estimate. So they're like, next quarter we're gonna kill in margins. Our revenue is gonna slap. We're gonna do good. So sales is 4.5 to 4.9 billion dollars, beating the estimate of 4.36. Or looking to beat the estimate of 4.36. So very strong, man. This is what we want to see in the market. If Microsoft could say something like that, we'd be good. We'd be good. Because this is juicy. This is what we want to be seeing. Beat top and bottom and just slapping across the board. Yo, if Texas Instrument was a girl right now, as a female walking down the street, she'd be looking good. She'd be like showing the cleavage, everything. Her body would be so fine. This is a buy the dip, but it hasn't dipped though. So let's see. Revenue increased 19%. Talked about that. Cash flow is good too. Q4 compared to last year, revenue, operating profit, very strong. Operating profit is 38%, net income 27%. Nasty Nate says, I got a booster today. I'm invincible now. Nah, bro. More like you got the booster. You're going to be getting the beat down today. You're going to be feeling like trash. Good luck. Good luck. Yeah. Aw, damn. Sorry, Ari. I didn't know you were here. My bad. I apologize if my comment was rude. I actually went 60% cash in my long-term retirement account between Friday and today. I started selling off a lot of stuff. I didn't really want to sell Apple, but goddamn, seeing how bad Netflix got hit, I got shook. I got shook, man. I was like, you know what? It didn't even hit that $135 stop loss, but I'm out. I'm outies, man. Gotta lock in this profit in case we get an Omega crash. I want to be ready to buy the dip. So I went like 60% cash. I bought the dip on some garbage stocks that's already been beat up. Let's see what Jawa got for us. Okay, makes sense. Good chart. Good chart. Possible inverse head and shoulder on the sloppy side right there. Right? Look at that inverse head and shoulder. Sloppy inverse head and shoulder. Can you see it? But that will get invalidated the second we lose this area, 426. That sloppy inverse head and shoulder would get lost once we lose 426. So watch out for that. So Texas Instrument, definitely something to keep on watch. If it comes back down due to market downtrend, this is probably going to be a good stock to buy the dip on if it comes back to 170s again. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that just because, market is so uncertain right now. Let's check out some of this other companies. MRTN. Earnings per share is 30 cents as opposed to 26 cents. Sales is 266 million as opposed to 262. So that's a beat top and bottom. 25% increase compared to the same period last year, and 17% increase in sales compared to the same period last year. Stock price was trading around this range, $15 to $16. Pretty discounted. Let's see if they have a guidance. Is there guidance? Guidance? No guidance. Or pretty reasonably priced. They making good money. Yo, honestly, they'll probably continue to make good money just because supply chain issues so stuck right now. The only problem is, are they having labor issues? So this is what they do. I love how they have some super boomer picture. Is this real? Is this some Midwest? Some Midwest. They said this quarter had the best operating revenue, operating income for any quarter in our history. The best. They're expanding. This is bullish. You want to see them expand. Yo, they put solar panels on their trucks? That's dope. And they got solar everywhere. So green, man. Green energy. I like this company. Wow, did you guys see that candle that just popped on Microsoft? It went from like 280 to 288 one shot. Holy smokes. Or they tried to do it, but too much selling pressure in between. I think maybe it was a call being exercised or something. I just looked at it on my TOS and I saw this one pop. It was crazy. They're really trying to save the market, man. It's like I feel like the MMOs are coming in. The MMs, they're just coming in and trying to like. Oh, they're doing everything they can, bro. They're holding the rope, man. It's like, oh my god, don't fall. But the market is like a truck right now. This is a good company. I like this company actually. Hold up, special dividend. Scam. This is a good company. I like what I'm reading here. Pretty solid. Trading at a good level. Probably a good buy to dip around $14, $15. Let me look at the chart from RTN. Probably put this and post this on the weekly chart. Put an alert to set a buy order. So I just put an alert for that. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, oh well. But I would probably like it if it comes back to sub $15 for a good buying area. That was a pretty good earnings. I liked it. I liked what they're doing. I think, I like the company overall. And I feel like trucking is still going to be very strong because we have such supply chain issues right now. They're just constantly going to make money. Let me catch up on the comments a little bit. Oh, yeah. Man, I wish, is anybody good at making like a GIF, man? I wish we can get somebody to make a GIF, but like this, like this is Microsoft right now. It's holding onto the ledge, bro. But instead of a person right here, it's actually the whole stock market is like a truck, and the truck is just dying, like it's about to fall, right? You have like 10 people here trying to pull this truck up, and that it's almost impossible to hold the damn truck up because it's about to go, man. Like this, kind of like this, man. I would love to see. I would love to see somebody make a GIF of this, where like this is Microsoft, and this is the whole market, and everybody trying to hold it up. Like, please, dear God, please, 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 Microsoft, don't drop, please. Or this could be the market, and this will be like maybe this will be Microsoft, and then you have like I mean this will be like SPY, and then you have Microsoft, you have Tesla, and then you have Apple. What other big earnings we got? What other big earnings we got here? Let's see. Oh yeah, we'll have Daddy Powell in the back, right? Yo, I think Wall Street Bet would appreciate this if somebody does it. So we got Tesla coming up, we have like Apple coming up, holding it, and then maybe we'll have a midget, right? We'll have a midget at the end of this rope over here, like a kid, maybe a tiny person, or maybe just a dog, bro. Maybe a dog, like Brian from Family Guys, and that dog will be called Robin Hood, you know. It's just like a little person trying to hold it, like Robin Hood's on the end of that rope, be like, please don't die, we need you. Everybody is trying to hold the market together, but it's just not happening. Oh my god. And then I'll be donezo just from COVID, I'll be done from COVID, and you guys won't even see me no more. 2 weeks time. That's smart, Fiat World. Oh, actually, dude, that's a really good thing that you brought up. I did a survey the other day, right? So I put the survey out. If you guys have a chance, and I'm gonna share this with you guys too. So right now I put out a survey. Check this out. Stock market survey. So I had this idea where we could have. I'm gonna make like two different funds, right? For my retirement account, for my regular account, and one of the strategies I want to focus on is like having 40% in long-term safe dividend. This fund is gonna be called a Seifu fund. If you guys trade crypto, you might be familiar with Seifu, where Binance CEO would come out and he would be like, your funds are safe, you know. um so this would be the Seifu fund, where you're tired of taking L's and you just want to invest in the market and walk away, right? So this would be focused on 40% safe dividend stocks, 30% growth stocks, 10% small caps. Could be something like Matterport, right? Because that's such a bullish small cap company with great potential. So that's why you want to have a little bit, percentage in that. And then we'll have 15% cash at all time for rotations and buying the dip. Kind of like what Fiat World was saying there, for the opportunity to rebalance, right? And then when the time comes, you can even add these ETFs, these bearish ETFs, like could be a volatility ETF like VXX, or it could be like SPXS, that that's kind of there to help out during big downtrends like this right now. So those could kind of condition or hedge some of the drops. And then the other strategy I have was like, yo, what if we just straight up buy the dip, right? So it would just be, BTD gang, anything over this price and whatnot. So check that out. Let me know what you guys think. Let's check out some of the other earnings. And then you guys can also put like what stocks you want, The problem is that 7% S&P was pushing to the top until today. The rest has been sitting in the ass for a year and a half. Meh. QYLD is a good dividend stock in a way, yes and no, because it's based on the NASDAQ. It's good because if we chop, and it does pay out pretty well. It's not bad, but it's not also crazy growth either, because a lot of the payout gets paid out in dividend. They probably use it for like small devices in the truck, because most trucks are super like is like super it would be subreddit market challenge, Wall Street bets versus investing. Yo, that's true. It would be like that, right? One of the strategy would be more catered to a Wall Street bet, and the other one would be investing. 15% cash. Warren Buffett says 40% beach. That's true. It does. Is Berkshire 40% cash right now? We should check that out. Let's check out some of the other earnings. Oh, send me that one. Send me the Spider-Man one. That's a good one. F5 Networks. Earnings per share is 289 as opposed to 278. Sales is 687 mil as opposed to 676. 11% increase compared to the same period last year. 9.99% increase compared to last year. Let's see what the stock price was trading a year ago. A year ago, it was trading around this range of 210 to possibly 192. So slight increase compared to last year. They probably they're probably pretty reasonably priced around this $200 area. Oh, they dropped $31. Coming back to value right here, actually. What are they saying? What's up with the guidance? Guidance must be trash. Guidance had to be trash. Sales at 610 to 650 mil versus 692 mil. I knew it. I knew guidance had to be trash. Yeah, so they don't think they're gonna meet the Q2 sales for next year, next quarter. It's gonna be even lower than this quarter, so that's pretty ugly there. So maybe wait a little bit more to buy the dip. Let me see if they have a press release. Just slow growing company, man. 8 to 9% growth. So they said next year it further expects fiscal 2022 revenue growth in range of 4.5 to 8% as opposed to 8 to 9%. So last year, I mean, or early on, they thought they were going to grow by 8 to 9%. And now they're already coming back to 4%, right? So that's a huge revision, almost 50%. What's a 2-year basis of this company? 2 years, the company was at 134. So I mean, if they're only growing 10% a year from 2020 to 2021, and then they're looking to grow another 4%, or maybe another 10% and then 4% afterwards. So let's take 134 from 2020 price times 1.10% growth times another 10% growth for 2022. And then, I mean, for end of 2012, 2021 to 2022, which is now, and then from 2022 to 2023, they think they're gonna grow about 4%. Oh, that's pretty far off, man. That's like 168. They might have more room to go. Burke has 149 billion cash on his balance sheet, the largest hoard company's history. On a similar note, while Burke has made some relatively small stock purchases in his portfolio recently, it has spent more on a single stock in 2021 than on all other combined. Elon tweeted he'll eat a Big Mac on TV if Madonna accepts Dogecoin. I saw that. Elon is going crazy, bro. Let me see. Let's see. Elon Musk. I saw that. He's going nuts. Yo, what's up with this? What's up with Elon's new background picture? Is he like saying invest in the metaverse? Be yourself. No, not like that. He's like, I will eat a Happy Meal on TV if Madonna accepts Dogecoin. Yo, it's like this guy's trying to pump Dogecoin again, man. He is probably the single person that's in charge of like buying the dip on Dogecoin. He probably bought the dip on the stock market too. He probably bought the super dip on the Bitcoin as well. What is this? Twitter, right? So you can connect your wallet to Twitter. Oh wow, he's pooping on Twitter, man. He's like, Twitter is spending engineer resource on this BS, while crypto scammers are throwing a spam black party in every thread. That's true, man. How they're like trying to get people to like connect their crypto wallet to Twitter when there's like they can't even block the spammers and scammers on Twitter. Gotta agree with Elon on that, man. The market right now. The market right now. Oh, don't die. That's true, man. Like Manano's like, honestly, it's a good idea. Madonna should do it. I mean, don't they have enough degens working there? Isn't that the next thing? If you took an L, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you go work at McDonald's to make your money back? Oh no, don't say things like that. Calls on McDonald's, why not? I guess what happened to PayPal? What happened at PayPal? What do you mean? All right, let's see if there was any other earnings we should check out. Let's take a look at PayPal. Oh, look, they provided a summary. All right, let's take a look at the other earnings. Stride. Is Stride the insurance company? Oh, no, it's not. It's an online educational company. Me. Earnings per share is $1 as opposed to 77 cents. Sales is 409 mil as opposed to 395. 66% increase compared to the same period last year. Last year was trading around 25 to 23, so had a little bit move here, and only 8% increase in sales compared to last year. Probably save money from people at home, things like that. Guidance is pretty good, top and bottom in terms of full year sales. Is there any other earnings that you guys are interested in that I should look at? Or should we go to this morning's earnings? Oh, Capital One also reported. Let me check this out. This is the way. Sometimes I do a lot of thinking there too. Capital One had earnings per share at 541 as opposed to 530. Sales is 812 as opposed to 792. 2% increase compared to the same period last year. 10% increase in sales compared to last year. Company has increased a lot. $100 to 150, almost 50% increase. 2-year basis as well. So looking a little bit high in terms of price appreciation. Do they have guidance? No guidance. Let's check out earnings from this morning. Back to this morning. GE reported Q4 earnings per share 92 cents as opposed to 87 cents. Sales is 20.3, miss 21.48. trading back to a similar price from last year's. The thing is all messed up. I can't even see what their thing is. Oh, Sales Direct Club, Smile Direct Club suspends operation in 8 markets, cut staff. Oh, it's over, man. They're about to get bought out. Hopefully somebody buys them out. What a flop. That home. So they're suspending market in Mexico, Spain, Germany, Netherlands, Austria, Hong Kong, Singapore, and New Zealand, while continuing to operate in and scale in on presence in the US, Canada, and the UK, Ireland, France, and Australia. That really strong move there? I feel like they should have. I mean, it's tricky. It's hard to expand in Asia as well because you have other competition there. They've been trading fairly valued to a certain extent, about 1-to-1 price of sale. But things are hard for them. They've been going downtrend ever since the IPO. IPO around $20. Now it's $2 almost. Wow. Tangible book value around $1.56. They just can't make money. The earnings has been really bad. Let's check out J&J. Young Bo, what's up? Earnings per share is $2.13 as opposed to $2.12 for J&J. Sales is 24.8 billion as opposed to 25.29. Had a pretty strong quarter. Had a pretty good increase. This is a 14% increase compared to the same period last year and 10% increase in sales. So last year they're trading around that same price range between 159 to 170s, and they're doing better this year than last year. So obviously the market picked them up from 160s to 167. Sometime looking at the previous data helped a little bit. $2020 versus Q4, 2020, 2021. They're doing good across the board. Consumer health really picking up. Pharmaceuticals picking up. Medical device. No repurchasing. No split. So they said they've been having some pretty reasonable growth. Memory gel boosts breast implant. What? Mentor's memory gel. Why is it called Mentor? So weird. Mentor's memory gel breast implant provides the soft, natural peel patients desire and are available in a wide range of size and profile to fit the patient's body. Each implant is filled with the Mentor's proprietary cohesive gel that holds together uniformly and retains a natural gives the better resemble breast tissues.
Mentor breast implants have been chosen by nearly 7 million women worldwide, and for women who want a soft, natural feel. The Mentor Memory Gel breast implant features our proprietary cohesive gel, innovative shell design, and optimal fill, all of which come together for the soft, natural feel women desire, with 98% of patients being highly satisfied at 10 years. In fact, our long-term clinical study that followed patients for 10 years provides clinical evidence of the safety and effectiveness of the Mentor Memory Gel breast implants. This breast implant also comes in various sizes and profiles and is available in smooth and Siltex microtexture shell surfaces. Mentor breast implants also come with a lifetime replacement warranty. To learn more about the Mentor Memory Gel breast implant, visit our website today.
Interesting. Pictures of tits on the side, scroll caution. Oh no. Oh no. I was worried about that too. That's why I was scrolling so cautiously. Wait, is there? Lie to me, man. There's no pictures. There's no pictures, man. Lie to me. But yeah, that was a pretty interesting earning. They did pretty good compared to last year, and they're trading somewhat discounted. So they said 2022 adjusted operational earnings per share growth of 9.2% and operational sales growth of 7.7. They're also paying the 2.6% dividend too, so you got to account for that. But I think anything around the low 150, 160 ranges are probably a good buying opportunity because guidance is pretty strong here. Zurich also reported today. Somebody said Nvidia is getting slapped after hours. Is it? Oh. Yeah, you guys gotta be careful about Nvidia, man. So dangerous. Xerx had a pretty good EPS, missed sales. Doesn't say how much they're growing from last year. Full year 22 sales expect to be pretty in line at 7.1 billion as opposed to 7 billion estimate. Oh, you know what? The one good earning I did see today was Amex and MMM, which is 3M. So 3M says they had earnings per share 2.31 as opposed to $2. So that's a beat. Sales is 8.6 as opposed to 8.59. Top and bottom beat, but 2.9% decrease in EPS compared to last year's. So last year, company was trading around 173, right? And then sales is pretty flat compared to last year's. Dividend is at 3.4%. So I think anywhere on this $170 range is pretty interesting. On a 2-year basis, February 2020, the company is trading around 156 before the whole market downturn. So if we chop somewhere between 155 to 170s, this could be a safe place to park your money. Let me see if they said anything good. But it's also a super slow company. You only park your money here if you don't want to be stuck with the market volatility. Barely growing, man. They're doing too much restructuring. Wow, they also repurchased 2.2 billions of their shares too, and that didn't do much. So not doing anymore. We purchased. The company does have a lot of cash on hand, 4.7 billion. Um, Pretty reasonable, but growth is mass low. So generally, people don't like to invest in these companies that are growing very slow. But it is a safe place to park the money. And they said they're gonna announce the outlook on February 14th. So we might see some move there. We might see some move there if you guys want to go long on that. So February 14th, 3M. Check out AXP. They had a pretty good earnings. The stock moved like crazy today. Hey, what's up, QZ? Yeah, we did look over Microsoft. They had a good earnings, top and bottom, but at the same time, they also didn't provide the guidance yet, and they said that they only had about 20% growth. So if you look at Microsoft's price from at the same period last year times their current price, times 1.2%, you'll see that is like pretty under their current price appreciation. So, what that means is that the market was really frothy, and the market just kind of priced them in for such amazing growth that they haven't been able to, accumulate yet. But obviously, if it's a good company. It's only going to grow further with the cloud and the metaverse. But they didn't say any of the keywords either. So I'd love to see them talk about that. But at the same time, I have been an investor of Microsoft before. And I know how good at they are at the disappointing investors, man. I know how good they are because I think I held them from like 2013 to like 2018. And oh my God, man, I remember selling them because I just got so tired of not seeing any growth out of them. They know how to flop so well too with like the history of Nokia and all the other stuff they did. I think Barnes and Noble, they had a partnership with Barnes and Noble to make the next Amazon Kindle. They completely flop on that. They had a partnership with Nokia to make the next, smartphone. Completely flop with that, man. It's like, come on. Why you bother getting into it? So Amex earnings per share 2018 cents as opposed to 187. Sales is 12.14 billion as opposed to 11.5. Wow. 23% increase compared to the same period last year in EPS, and 29% increase compared to the same period last year in sales. Let's look at the increase compared to last year. Last year, the company was trading around 115, 120. Let's be generous. Let's go to 120 times 1.29. Actually, let's go in the middle, 1.25. Kind of puts it around 150. What was the guidance here? I can see why it ran up. Pricing in from that level here. Huh. Oh, well, actually, compared to a year ago, that was COVID, so. Was there guidance for Amex? Because they moved so much. 157 to 172. I guess people are pricing in that they had a pretty good earnings. They had a 30% growth, and people are expecting that to continue. But if we start going into a recession, that probably won't continue. Things get pretty bad. Verizon had a pretty good earnings today too. Kind of chopping pretty cheap to a certain extent. Last year's trading price was on $54. Earnings per share was 23% increase, 30% increase in sales. Guidance is pretty in line here. So 5.4, let's say on the lower end of 5.4. 5.4 divided by 4, pulling about $1.35 EPS per quarter, which is in line with what they've been doing too. So I think that's a pretty interesting company. Still down pretty far from COVID price. Lockheed Martin, let's check that out. Tesla will fall. We're gonna chart it out. We're gonna chart out Tesla. I'm gonna chart out Amazon. I'm gonna show you guys something crazy. I'm gonna get you guys riled up, man. EPS $7.47 as opposed to $7.15. Sales is 17.7 billion as opposed to 17.66. Pretty good for LMT. 17% increase compared to the same period last year, and 3% increase in sales compared to last year. Company was trading around 338, 340, but it's been running up because how much was the sales increase? 4%. Be generous, we'll give them 4%. 353. 2-year basis pretty cheap too, 440s. So it has the potential to come back to 440s. I think people are also pricing in like a good move for them due to the war. We're on the brink of war, between everything going on with Taiwan and China, North Korea and South Korea, Russia and Ukraine, all over the world, man. Everybody's ready to throw fists. I mean, of course they're going to beat 2020 numbers because they had a record loss in 2020. So it's easy to beat that. They just need to continue to do a lot better than 2020 and 2019. $66. About 16. So pretty in line with net sales. They're not pricing anything crazy. They said they're going to make about the same that they're making this year, if not a little bit less, at 66 net sales as opposed to 67. But, considering they're pretty far away from their 2020 level, we can see recovery. I think they're being held down because of the jet ETF, the whole airline sector just being weak in general. That's why they're being held down, but they're trading pretty okay-ish value. Remember I said that crypto would blow up when we go into a recession? Look at the BTC and Ethereum. I agree with that, man. Of course. It's a risky investment. PII? PII manufactures off-road vehicle. So they had a good beat. 2.16 as opposed to 2.03. 2.17 billion as opposed to 2.13. Next year is going to be slowing down a little bit, maybe. I don't know. They said that they're actually seeing pretty good growth. They're going to see a pretty big move compared to estimate, but 1010 divided by 4, probably put at 2.5. That's strong. Pretty strong, eh? Any repurchase or anything? 17% full year. Oh, this is like the boat and stuff, huh? Outdoorsy stuff. Only 1% change. Looking pretty flat. 12-month wise, down some money. Did they buy some company? Oh, sales actually gonna be a little bit lower. $2.3 billion. Never mind. A year ago, company was trading around here, 128. 2 years ago, trading pretty fairly. I guess $100 area is a pretty good range to buy. They're gonna continue to grow. They're gonna continue to do pretty well. Price of sale is pretty cheap compared to industries. At 0.8 price of sales. Usually anything above 1 is pretty good. I feel like I almost compare them to like Winnebago's 0.5. Oh, never mind. This is pretty low as well. What about Americans Outdoors? Oh, it's AOUT. Pretty in line. I guess it's pretty reasonable compared to industry. Where the industry average P to S is PS is 8 point. I work for Amex and things are looking very bright for them at the moment. I can keep at this level only, cannot disclose more. I appreciate that. You know, I actually like Amex because I remember they said they got approval to get into the China market like a year or two ago. And I think that's a big thing for them. I don't know if they talked about it lately, but and let me know if this is something that makes sense, right? But I remember them being like one of the first ones that says they're trying to get into Asia market, and that was like somewhere in the cheaper range too, if I remember correctly. So I would love to pick them up again, but probably not at this level, probably at lower levels, um, because I think China hasn't really even gotten into the credit card market yet. Um, like having experience in Asia, they're like mostly they're pretty big on like just spending what they have, and they haven't gotten into this American culture of like spending more than what we have and like buying everything on credit and stuff like that. So I think there's huge opportunities for growth there as they get more and more people to spend more than what they have, whereas like America's already kind of peaked at that. And they're so strict over there too that there's not much credit card company that can get in there. Oh, there's a crypto Amex rumor. What is that, Ari? Tell us more. Nice. All right, so let's check out SPY. Let's look at the S&P 500. And then we're going to look at Amazon and Tesla as well. Yeah, real estate builders are crazy over there. They have tremendous amount of credit from the banks, but the common consumers don't have access to credit like that over there. So I think that's what's very, very interesting. All right, so ES actually doesn't follow the chart that well, but SPY surprisingly did for some reason. So I know that we usually look at ES a lot more, but it might be time to start looking at SPY because that's where they want to manipulate things. Market's also going down a little bit after hours. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, how, you know, we had a nice little inverse head and shoulder move here. So this is the head of the inverse side, inverse head and shoulder, strong move. Had a move here. We talked about this yesterday, actually. We had a move to the top there. So ideally, we would have that pullback, and it's supposed to have it's supposed to be pretty good because you want that pullback to have a higher move higher. So you can see that happen there. And then we got some semi bottoms on the intraday chart over here today, higher, right? And then we came back, we touched the double top here. Now we're coming back to bottom of the trend line here, as you can see. Bottom of the trend line had a pretty good back test. Normally, this would be up going further and further, having a full recovery, maybe back to 455s. However, Microsoft earning was pretty ugly. It took the market down a little bit, and it just might be enough to actually switch this pattern from a bullish pattern to a bearish pattern like this. So we talked a little bit about, you know, typically market would be bullish, and with the way that it moved yesterday too. We grew in JTW this morning. So this is the bearish pattern that we have where the bullish pattern is going up this way. The bearish pattern is looking at double top. Now we're going to switch to the double top to the double bottom, where this is what is very, you know, sexy to look at, the double bottom. So as you can see here, right? Typically this is the, you know, very, very good double bottom pattern. So, but look at that. So there's really multiple directions that things can go here. This is one of the way. So for this bigger pattern to play out, we would need a break under, you know, kind of breaking under 430s to really confirm that move down. If we break under 430s, we're probably gonna hit. We'll have a good chance of hitting the 420s from 430s. So there's no need to jump the gun there. And then if we end up holding 430s, there, you know, even if we break this trend line down a little bit, if we end up holding 430s, we still have a pretty good chance of breaking above here. If we can break above 440s, that means we can come back to even 455s. So these are some big moves that are possible there. Then go into long-term perspective on some things I was looking at in terms of Amazon and some of the other companies. So I was looking at Amazon today, and I was just thinking, like, Amazon's chopping whole year, right? I know some of us like in my opinion, Amex has zero chance to compete with Baba and Tencent. I mean, Tencent does the WeChat. I don't know if they have the ability to do a credit market. I'm not sure about Amazon. I'm not sure about Alibaba as well, but I know that the Amex is really popular overseas too because it's very premium, very prestige. So they might be able to lock in a lot of the big spenders too, like big ballers as well. Whereas previously it was very hard for them to get credit. But yeah, looking back into the bigger perspective of Amazon, right? For some of us that's been looking at Amazon, we're like, hey, you know, Amazon's been chopping all year from 2020 to 2022. Like it really hasn't moved anywhere, and they have some great earnings here and there. And they're a phenomenal company, right? So big with AWS and all that stuff, the cloud. How could they not? How could they not? You know, how could they drop so much? But at the same time, let me give you the FUD, right? Let me give you the alternative perspective on Amazon and AWS. Now, by now, everybody knows that AWS, the Amazon's web service is the best, right? By now, everybody knows that it's a leader. It's without a doubt the leader in the space of clouds. It's really good. It's the biggest money maker for Amazon, right? But at the same time, guess what? This was something in development for the last 5-10 years, right? And this is where that big growth from AWS was from 2016, 2018. And I think I can make this reasonable argument here that in 2018, that was where AWS peaked, okay? Where Amazon's cloud service kind of peaked at market share, at 30% market share. They haven't really grown much market share from that, and 30% market share may sound like nothing, but when you think about like so many competitors in the space, from Microsoft, the Azure cloud, you have Google cloud, you have Oracle, a trash company, and then you have like all these other 10 other cloud service companies, and then you have Tencent, you have Baba on the Asia side. You have so many competitors in the space, like probably 10 plus competitor in the space, and 5 of them are notable competitors. So for Amazon to have 30% market share in that space is already very, very strong. But at the same time, they also haven't been able to grow that market share above 30%. Um, but who has been able to? Microsoft. And I wouldn't be surprised to see like other people coming up, because when you're at the top, it's easier for you to get smacked down, especially when you have other people that are just as strong and have just as much money as you. So I think that's going to be a very interesting perspective. You could almost see on the bigger picture here, it's a head and shoulder pattern. You can see that in the bigger picture here, especially since we lost that support over here at $2,800 area. That's a big support, and they lost that there. They lost that major support. They lost the moving average, man. The 100 moving average, our MOB line. So I don't know. That's the Amazon FUD. That's the Amazon FUD. On the technical level, it doesn't look good either. You guys know how head and shoulder patterns work out. Usually, you have a nice shoulder around here. This would be the head. It would be the reversal, and then typically coming back to the shoulder before finding the bounce. Oh, whoops! I didn't mean to draw the dildo. But it's kind of like that. It's looking like that, in that range. Could it come back to 2000s? I don't know. A possibility could be there. If the whole market gets crazy, the whole market gets really crazy. It could. I don't know. I don't want to, but I think it could. And what's $2,000? That's only like $700, $800 down from that, right? What's up, little rock? Little rocket. That's baby FUD. Yeah, it's actually not FUD. It's actually good, because we want to be buying the dip, right? We want to be BTD on that. That's our BTDD gang. So look at Tesla on the. So the to add further on this FUD, right? To add further on this FUD, now we talked about the head and shoulder pattern. So for some of you guys that are new, oh no, not this head and shoulder. So for some of you guys that are new and you want to check out the head and shoulder pattern, I'm gonna paste it here. You guys can read about it. It's typically a pretty bearish pattern. Not bullish, sorry. And it's a pretty common pattern that plays out a lot. So look at Tesla. Another possibility of that head and shoulder pattern, right? I mean, you guys can see this, right? So it's starting to look like everything in the market wants to make that pattern. The only difference between Tesla and and Amazon is that, you know, it hasn't really broke the MOB line yet on the weekly, where Amazon has already broke it. And then, we're still like back testing the MOB line over here on the daily. So it could still come back to bullishness if it could break above this MOB line at 950. So earnings could have a possibility to pop that. If earnings doesn't pop that, oh boy. Oh boy. You don't even want to know. You don't even want to know. I might start taking a put calendar to 575. Let me look at this. Let me look at this. Let me look at this, man. It's crazy, right, guys? Oh, wow. You know what's great about Tesla is that they have so many monthly contracts. So this is our target. Our target is down to here, right? Between 580 to maybe 650. Okay. So let's drag this all the way down. Tesla fanboys, please don't kill me. I'm sorry. Just talking in theory, okay? We're just talking in theory. Just think of me like talking about this as a way to thinking of worst case scenario so you guys don't get burned. Damn, so expensive. So let's say we think it can move to like $600, somewhere around here. Damn, it's so expensive, man. So goddamn expensive. Can't play it. Yeah, it's always good to have a doomsday scenario in mind. It's so expensive, it's hard to play. Alright, you know what? If it's gonna happen, if this is gonna happen, if something stupid like this is gonna happen, it will happen within this time frame, right? Of March and April. If we're gonna die, we're gonna die between this time frame. Look at the $600 put. Yeah. If we're gonna die, we're gonna die in this time frame. March 18th to April 14th. $600. So if it hits there between now to end of March, if it hits the end of March, you make $4,000. So risk to reward is about 100% to 500%. Pretty crazy. So that's if it comes down here. But that's a big move, man. I don't know if it comes down here in that time frame. Such a big move. I would hate to fight the Tesla bulls in this. It would have to break this super uptrend here too. Yeah, if we're gonna die, like this would be the time to die, right? But honestly, it really has to break this area here too. This is gonna be an area to break. If that area breaks, and it would just have to be something so stupid that they have to announce on earnings for them to like, pew, just flop too. But it's definitely something to be interesting to watch. I think short term, bearish is $800 short term. Like if we're gonna get bearish on short term, it'll be $800. This is the pattern right here. The trend line on the top, trend line on the bottom. Also this other trend line over here would fit too. So probably somewhere like that, probably somewhere. Yeah, it all lines up to that $800 range. So if we're going down, $800 is the down move. If we're going up, $1,000 plus easy. So both scenarios could play out, but stock market is a game of probability, man. The casino is a game of probability. You have to account for all these probabilities. So that's all that's all we're really talking about here. Probabilities, like, you know. But I didn't like that it lost the MOB line here though. This is the first time it broke it. So I hope that helps on Tesla. Is there any other thing that you guys want to see on a bigger trend? Any other stocks you guys are extra bullish on and you want to get crushed? Apple. Let's take a look at Apple. IBM, not much to be crushed there. I can tell you the history of IBM. IBM has already been beat up so much. IBM has already been beat up a lot. Because I know like IBM used to be a big hardware business, and they moved from hardware to software because, you know, they figured that cloud was the future, right? So they sold off the whole hardware division to Lenovo. I think it was a Chinese company at that time. And then they moved into the cloud business, bought Red Hat and whatnot, or Blue Hat, or a bunch of other companies they bought. They tried to merge it, couldn't happen. Code didn't make sense. Engineers quit, and they just haven't been able to grow off from that. They made a few AI. They made some smart AI things. I think they made AI Watson, but that also didn't work out that well. They're trying to get into the medical side, but nothing really happening there too quickly. They're literally, I think they're literally trying to give it out for free too, but the medical company has to be big enough to take it. Has to be a big enough customer for them to consider giving it out for free. So they're at the crazy range. They said they just turned profitable. They're still down from 2020 levels. So you could say, in a way, if we're looking at stocks from 2020 that hasn't recovered to 2020 level yet, this is one of them. Could they get there? Yeah, pretty reasonable. It could happen. Yeah, it could also be. You could also watch the 50 and 100 too. So let's look at the QQQs. So you can also look at the 50 and 100. I mean, my moving averages are already crossover, so we're already getting a semi-dev cross on the shorter time frame. Usually when the moving average crosses over, it signals like a dev cross. But a lot of times once that happens, once the moving average crossover, it's already happened. We're already like extremely bearish. But let me show you the other time frames that happened on the Qs. So since we want to look at the Qs, right? So let's look at the other time frame that happened was in March, right? Once the moving average crossover usually signals bearishness, but like these are delay indicators because look, the bearishness already happened. Usually we don't get a super recovery like we did in March. We got a V-shaped recovery. So in 2018, when they raised interest rate, and the interest rate peaked at 2% around April of 2018. I mean, not April, October of 2018. So we got the bearish crossover, and we ended up hanging out there for a while, hang out there till December for 2 months. So I think that's a possibility that could happen right now with that bearish crossover. And it could take a while for recovery. So that's a lot of downtrend there. And tech company always get beat up because they always spending hardcore. A lot of big techs like, you know, even like Lyft, Uber, Netflix, all these companies are usually running at negative profits, and they gotta borrow a lot of money to keep growing. So when they have to crossover, it's usually pretty bearish. But we already had it. We already had it, man. We already had the crossover. We just gotta find bottom at this point to dead cat bounce from. So that's QQQ and SPY. Let me take a look at UPST. Hasn't UPST been dying? You know, we looked at earnings for UPST too. A lot of the stuff just didn't make sense. It was mind-boggling to me because, look, the company IPO over here, right? December 20th, 2020. December 2020, IPO around $44, right? The company grew company revenue growth was about 38% year over year. But keep in mind, the company isn't profitable, right? The revenue growth is around 38% year over year. Actually, they did hit profitability, but originally it wasn't profitable. So 38% growth year over year. And let's say it was like $40, right? $40 when they IPO. So usually IPO is already priced in 3 to 5 year growth. But let's say it didn't, right? Let's say we keep that growth carrying. So 40 times 1.38 times 1.38 again. Pricing for 2 year pretty good growth. So $76. The company traded at $400. How much growth was it pricing? And plus the government's attacking them. They don't want them lending out too much money and things like that. It's gotten too degenerate. So it's food for thought on that. I know it looks like it came down a lot. It looks like $400 back to $100. That's like a 300% move in a way. But it's really only worth around $70-something just using basic math. Tangible book value per share is $7, trading at 12 times price to sale and almost 100 PE still, which is still very high. So gotta watch out for these growth companies, man. The market got too crazy. What is the Russell's price to earning ratio right now? 16. Pretty reasonable, actually. Oh, they got too much trash in there, man. Huh? But yeah, they still have AMC in there, and the AMC hasn't really moved much yet. But the weighted PE at 16 is pretty reasonable. And I think growth stock are still pretty bearish until they release the guidance on Wednesday. So FOMC is gonna be interesting. Wow, everybody and their mother getting into NFTs, huh? How do you guys feel about NFTs? Yeah. Oh, they're just letting people put the profile pictures NFTs. Eh. I don't think that's gonna be super good. I don't think it's great. This is the same thing that Twitter is doing. They're just incorporating the wallet into YouTube. Man, what if that exposed people? Like, what if that exposed more people to hacking? I think NFT is a great invention. The foundation and the idea behind it is good, but it just things are too crazy right now. Too much scams. Too much useless cases right now. And prices hasn't normalized yet. So I think that's the only crazy thing about it. But I think it's a good thing. It's good because if you understand the fundamental concept behind it, and how you get to own your things and stuff like that, and creators having the ability to monetize is good. But it just it's just too much scams in the space as usual. Crypto space in general is just way too much scams right now, and that's what always annoyed me about crypto. Is the fact that there's just way too much scam in the damn space, man. Like people always greedy to try and like extract money from other people, and but at the same time, people that gotten their money extracted are also greedy themselves, because sometimes when you get so greedy, you lose sight of things, and you lose like you lose the thought process, right? All you see is money, like ding 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 ding. All you see is money, right? And when all you see is money, you forget to like rationalize and be like, what if this is a scam? You lose that rationalization because you're like, everybody's making money off it. Let me get in this. Let me make money with it. So I think this is a tricky thing, man. But it's 5:30. I'm gonna take a break here. We'll be back here tomorrow around 4 p.m. We'll go over some more earnings. Looks like we're not gonna do so well with Microsoft for earnings tomorrow. I'll see. We'll see. Maybe the put side will pay off. We'll probably have to close the call side for our earnings challenge. And then we got some big earnings tomorrow: Kimberly Clark, Boeing's, ABT, Nasdaq, and then we have Tesla, Intel, Lam Research. So a lot of interesting things. We got to take a look at those. Qualtrics as well. Seagates. Oh man, so many things going on. So here's another opportunity for the market to save itself. Let's go, boys. Take care and have a good night.